Happy Tuesday. It's been a crazy last weekend. Coming into the week, for some reason it feels like a Sunday. I thought it was Wednesday, but nevertheless it's Tuesday. Felice Martis. So living in the future, trying to enjoy the day. Sometimes you just get lost in it all. Sundays are usually a calm, peaceful day, a day of reviews, a day of renewal, reflection. I like to take Sundays and go over my progress for the previous week and also set goals for the current week. I had a lot of things going on where I didn't send out a newsletter this week. I've been thinking about it. Been thinking about a lot of things. It's probably why I have been lost in a day, thinking that today is actually Wednesday. But nevertheless, I appreciate this day. Appreciate the present that I was gifted. I'm going to enjoy this day and see what comes with it. I'm going to strive for the most of it. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you're watching on your computer, your tablet, mobile device. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm Aaron Glenn, team member of Team Angie, private personal consultant, also advocate for mental health awareness as well. What I like to do is put positive vibes on you guys' timeline. Reading from my daily book of inspiration from Sarah Young called Jesus Calling. Enjoying peace in his presence. And nevertheless, this is the word for today of August 26, 2025. Trust me in the midst of a messy day. Your inner calm, your peace is, and my presence need not to be shaken by what's going on around you. Though you live in a temporal world, your innermost being is rooted and grounded in eternity. When you start to feel stress, detach yourself from the disturbances around you. Instead of desperately striving to maintain order and control in your little world, relax and remember that circumstances cannot touch my peace. Seek my face and I will share my mind with you, opening your eyes to see things from my perspective. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not fear or be afraid. The peace I give is sufficient for you. And that was inspired by the book of John, chapter 16, verse 33. Also, the book of Psalms, chapter 105, verse 4. And last but never the least, inspiration from the book of John, chapter 14, verse 27. That's a powerful word for today. Times of worriness comes, yet now we need to be afraid. Yet now we need to take on these troubling times on our own. Our Creator clearly demonstrates that He's there waiting and willing to show us how to take care of these problems only if we allow Him to. We are more than conquerors through Christ, but that's through Christ, not alone. Not alone that we can figure this world out, figure out what we're made for. Not alone we can fight these spiritual battles. Enjoying peace in His presence, the name of this book. The reading for today was about enjoying peace in His presence. When these things come along for you to worry about, give it on to God and let Him show you how He sees this problem and how He's going to take care of it. It's a pretty powerful word. It's an assurance that we have a Creator that not only knows us, but cares about us and also is willing and waiting to help us get through our troublesome times in this troubled and fallen world. So let that be um, some encouragement for you all who are out there suffering in silence, trying to figure everything out alone, putting your best effort in, but not seeming to get any progress. I'm here for you. This message is here for you. Create a team Angie as an outlet for people suffering with mental health awareness, those who just looking for resources to start making money online, to have multiple streams of income. You're looking for passive income online, remote work. Teach you guys exactly how to start your own online business. Making money online is a business, whether you want to look at it that way or not. But nevertheless, if you have something of value, you have something to offer the public, and also you are trying to offer these services or products online, you telling the world about it, making one post about it isn't marketing. it's a form of marketing, but nevertheless, you can get lost in the sauce. People post as billions of people online every day. Maybe out of all those billions of people, 500,000 post every day. Your one little post might not even get that million views for 1% to even check out what you got. So, it's about consistency. Consistency is what runs a business. They're open one day, they're closed the next, people will go to somebody else. These businesses, these brands are built on consistency. Whether you start off on your block, your street, your local neighborhood, and then you go global, however it ends up for you, whatever your story is to tell. Um, Nobody has a story to tell. Nobody that gave up too soon, nobody that hasn't kept it going. Those are the people who are watching, those who are telling their stories, who's been through the motion, who's put the work in, put the time, the effort to get the education, to utilize the education and, start their track, start their marathon. With Team Angie, the marathon continues. I started Team Angie September 22nd, 2022. September 22nd, I'll be my 3rd year anniversary. This is my marathon. It continues. I'm constantly leveling up. I'm constantly pivoting from one thing to the next. I'm constantly evolving as an individual and entrepreneur. So the thing for me to be able to evolve was to first get started. I can't sit on the sideline imagining what this journey will be like. It wouldn't do any good for me. It won't help me out anyway. Making money online, with Team Angie, it wasn't about making money online, but to make money online, I had to constantly be online and figuring out how to make money online, as far as what different products and services that I have. I always was making money online through the markets, but that's not my situation. It's not my service. So been spending a lot of time creating my own products, utilizing my own services and putting them out there for the public, like with my digital art. So making money online is about putting the work in, putting the effort in, and being consistent with it. That's the only way to generate a stable source of income online is to work it. A lot of people want to go viral, which is a really good thing. Even the people that do go viral, you got to keep that momentum going. You got to keep them people coming in because that's how the money starts to go. One video ain't gonna make you rich, and that's just the reality of it all. People like to be misled and have false realities. They like to have false expectations, and that's what makes them give up so soon. You might drop a reality. Or might drop a viral video or a podcast or a song or whatever it may be, right? You have a little motion, the spotlight's on you because the spotlight shifts and it shines on everybody from time to time. But when the spotlight's not on you, what's your motivating factor to keep doing what you do? To keep doing what you started off doing? Was it you're looking for a quick success? You had a little bit of it and now you're not going to maintain it because your expectations of how it goes isn't met. You're not willing to adjust. With digital marketing, making money online, posting videos, the strategy was simple, right? But not easy. Because it was so simple, I wasn't coachable to learn the strategies, these different strategies to do these things. The way that I do it may be nice and may be successful. The way that somebody else do it may be similar, maybe more successful. The difference is the way that we attack and tackle these projects. Creating a video, editing it, I might see it and do it a different way than somebody else. But being coachable, I can learn different perspectives, just like with the book I read. When we have troubles in life and we step back, meaning give it to God or just let it go for a bit, meditate on it. Don't let it consume your every thought, your every energy, every bit of energy, and don't let it just be your world. When something like that is bothering you, when you're trouble trying to get through your learning curves, because we all have learning curves. My learning curve was to be coachable and to learn how to be coachable. So I had to learn how to learn from other people, which was kind of strange, but nevertheless, it is what it is. If you be honest with yourself. I know how to learn, but learning also comes with learning how to learn from other teachers. Not everybody teaches the same. Just because they don't teach the way that you want to learn doesn't mean they don't have anything to offer. So that was a real eye opener for me, myself, being honest with myself and seeing what was holding me back, how to get out of my own way. And that took a few months to even, acknowledge that, and a few more months to get through that learning curve on how to be coachable. So that was a little part of my journey within the digital marketing field itself. And then as far as making money online, there's a lot of things I didn't know, like a perfect customer. It sounds like I should know this stuff, right? But if you never really talk about these things, a perfect customer. What is a perfect customer? Who is a perfect customer? When you start asking these questions, you start getting these answers, and then you start looking at the whole situation a bit different, because now I have a different perspective by listening to someone tell me about a perfect customer and how it makes sense to not try to sell to everybody, because just because you have something to sell doesn't mean everybody want to buy it. And this is just one little simple example. Like if Nike go to a baby shower, right? No, let's just do it like this. Nike, right? They sell shoes. It wouldn't make sense for them to go to a food company that's selling animal food. That people that's looking for animal food, there's not their customers. People who are looking for athletic shoes or just some gym shoes, period, some sneakers, whatever you call them. Those are Nike customers. Just like if you having a newborn baby, the club isn't my customers for these newborn babies. They can't come clubbing. Why would I promote to them? That's the thing, a perfect customer, knowing who your crowd is and how to market to them. So it makes a lot of sense, but it wasn't something that I thought about. And this is the importance of being coachable. They can teach you strategies. You can have a different perspective of how you look at business overall and how you engage as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. So it was like, I want to make money online. It sounds easy. Come to find out, it's not. It's simple, but it's not easy. You'll have moments where you're getting a lot of traction, you're getting a lot of leads, you're even making sales. And then it comes to a time where, or it may come to a point where things slow down. You're transitioning to something bigger, something different. Maybe what you were doing, you're outgrown, and your interests are headed in a new direction. So this is the cause of the transformation, why things are slowing up. Subconsciously, you don't really realize that your interests are growing to another area, which is fine because we're self development. We grow, we we also evolve as human beings. To be stagnant is to be staying the same. Change is inevitable. We're going to change whether we realize it or not. You're not going to be a little baby all the time. You're going to grow as a bigger individual. Mentally, you may stay the same as a baby. That's not to say that just because you grow taller, you get through different stages as an adolescent to an adult, that you have an adult mind. That's two totally different things. Age and mindset doesn't reflect who you are. I just had to make that clear because I've met a lot of people younger than me whose minds are older than mine. So, it's really hard to tell how old they are because they're evolving mentally, but physically they haven't caught up yet to what they really truly are. And that's the thing about being coachable. People might sound good, they might look good, but the information they're putting out, it doesn't really feed you, it doesn't nurture you, it doesn't help you grow. So then you have to have discernment. Is this the right way for me? Is this strategy that they use helpful for me? And that's when you navigate to different strategies, you start having different perspectives because they're doing it this way doesn't mean that this way works for you, and you adjust. That's what I've been doing a lot with digital marketing, and I've been adjusting. Everybody in digital marketing market different. They have different customers, and we have to find out who we are first to know who our customers are. So I spend a lot of time on a daily just getting to know me because I'm constantly changing. And to say I know myself like that, especially as I'm changing, would be a lie. So I have to give myself room to grow, time to grow. Also, I have to give myself some grace to endure these changes that I'm experiencing in my life, whether it be forced or it be what I choose to do on my own. But nevertheless, what you do with your time is important. It's a 2 hour workday. And that means actually using 2 hours out the day to put in money making activities, to partake in money making activities, meaning creating content, editing videos, posting the content, because it's really not helpful if you make a video and the video just sits on your phone and nobody ever gets to see it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all to be learning and going through the experience. That's why it's earned while you learn, pay as you go, step by step blueprint. That's exactly why I got involved, because it's like I don't want to sit here cramming up a lot of information and not learning. I mean, not making any money along the way. So the strategy, the process with this whole thing is, as you're getting set up, you're also putting yourself in position to start making money. But it's about being active. So for half of that 2 hours, I'll break my 2 hour workday down like this. And it's not always the same every day. That's why it's about structure and discipline, because it takes a while to have this discipline to be structured in a way that you can do these things. Like when you work for somebody else, you don't have to have the discipline because they already done structured this situation and they was disciplined enough to get it going, being consistent, and now they have people to maintain it for them as they do other things, whatever they decide to do with their time. And that's how you create time freedom as well. You put the work in, you get it established, you get it going, and you pass it over to somebody to maintain. Not pass over, but basically you pay them to maintain it. And you make sure that it's something that they're interested in, because not everybody aligns with your vision, not everybody aligns with your goal. Some people are solo members just for that specific reason. Specific reason. People may not align with their vision, so they won't hire them because they won't help their company grow. And not only that, it's just about being equally open with people. You don't want to be with somebody who don't want to see you succeed, because that's a resistance in your growth. And it's also people pleasing. You might want your family, your friends to be your business partners or whatever. They just might not see the vision. You might come around later or whatever, but whatever, right? In the meantime, it's about aligning yourself with your visions and actually taking actionable steps to live that reality. It's not always going to be easy, but if you give up on yourself, you don't even give yourself a chance. I've been doing this for a year, a little success, a little struggles, ups and downs, a roller coaster. It's a lot, nevertheless. But as I look back on my journey, I see the different things that I've been doing as far as creating streams of income, also maintaining certain streams of income that I do have. And it's like, wow, the more I learn, the more I implement, the more opportunities arise, the more people that come across my path with different information. We exchange, it's always an equal exchange. These different products and programs that I have myself that I learn from people and I acquire from people. And there's different things that I relate to and that resonate with. Everything that I have is an extension of who I am. My products and services, as far as a personal consultant, advocating for mental health, help people with the knowledge and information I have. I'm a resourceful person, a walking resource center, basically. And I enjoy what I do. So I do what I do. Whether I get the attention or not, it's not about that. It's about me living true to myself, my morals and standards, and my goals in life, pursuing happiness. And what makes me happy is knowing that I can reach somebody, teach them something that'll help them grow into a better individual, and that they can be some value to the society and their community, and also be a domino effect that they are affecting life in a positive way from interacting with me can be the same with somebody else that they interact with and meet in life. Be a positive interaction. Everybody that I come cross paths with, they're also able to gain some positive from me, because that's what my whole goal with meeting people, linking with people, engaging with people, interacting with people, period. It's about a positive exchange. Now, when I don't want to be bothered is because I'm dealing with internal negativity. I'm a negative person and a light person. Just because I choose positivity over negativity doesn't mean I don't experience both. That doesn't mean I am not both. It's just majority of the time I decide and I choose to be on the positive side of the spectrum, whatever, right? But it's about engaging with people in the right way. When I'm mad, when I'm going through turbulence, I don't like to bring chaos into my community, into the world, because I'm emotionally unstable or emotionally unintelligent on how to deal with what I'm dealing with, or whatever triggers me, and I don't want to deal with the shadow work and get to know these things. Those are moments where I'm conscious enough to know, all right, I need to figure out what's bothering me, what's going to help me be balanced and get back to that happiness, because I'm having this moment doesn't mean I am this moment. And that's important with emotional intelligence, to be having moments, but not to be the moment, not to allow it to make you become impulsive and you act off on whatever you feeling, right? And then later on, you have to feel the consequences of those actions from not taking the next extra minute to think about what's really going on and how to engage in this moment. Life is moment to moment, how to engage with moment to moment. And just taking a moment to experience these moments. Some people rush through life so much. Living in this moment means being in this moment. Some people are here right now, but thinking about over there. You're not in this moment. So actually, you're using more energy to live two lives in the same time. And the next 2 hours, you'll be more drained from living double lives, currently in the present, picking little pieces from here, but really in the past, thinking about all of the stuff that got you, feeling the type of way. You don't have a future because you can't see forward because you're not capitalizing on the present. You might have applications coming on your lap, it's showing it on screen, but you're seeing it, but you're not thinking about it. You're not focused on it because your mind is on the past. So all these opportunities right in your face are just passing moments because you're not grasping them. You're not conscious enough. You're not in the moment. And that's what's important about being conscious. Why I journal, I write stuff down so that I can stay focused on the moment and that these moments can add up to a future that I desire to be experiencing, if that makes sense. But if not, check out this video and it's going to wrap up everything that I'm saying. Because some people just don't get it. Some people like to be combative. Some people just don't want to change, and that's totally fine. Whatever you want to experience in your life, that's what you want to experience. We all have 24 hours of the day. What you do with your time is what you do with your time. But I like to, well, my 24 hours, I say you got a nickel, I mean a quarter, right? But you're missing one penny. You're trying to catch that penny all throughout the day. So with what I do have with the 24 cent, I take 2 hours to run my company. I take 1 hour to learn myself, and I take another hour to know my creator, spending time just with my creator. So out of them 24 hours, I really have 20 hours to just experience life because 4 hours of the day, two of them I'm working on my company, and the other two I'm working on myself. Well, 1 hour I'm working on myself, and then the other hour, which is the next 2 hours, I'm working on spirituality. I'm speaking with my creator, manifesting, meditating, whatever that spiritual practices that I do. That's what I'm doing. What I do might work for other people, may not, but I'm not here to debate on what I do with my spirituality, who I believe in, what I believe in, all this and that. If you want to know more, you can always ask me. I read my book every day. It's Jesus Calling. So I believe in is what I'm about. I used to dwell and practice different things and was in Buddhism, Islam. I practice a lot of different religions, but that doesn't mean that I I am those religions that I believe in those things. I consider myself Christian, if you want to know. But just knowing about other things is a way for me to relate, not relate to, but to get to know other people and to deal with other people because you might be able to save somebody and show them the true light, not by telling them anything, but by being who you are. An apple tree don't have to run around the street saying, "Hey, I'm an apple tree." That motherfucker stand still and people know. And that's how it is, with me. I like to be known from my works and from my energy, from what I put out in the world. It is what it is. You should be known by your works. You got to go around here telling everybody what you is or what you want to be. You still in their reality. Let them decide on what they see and how you are. It don't take long for people to figure it out. It really don't. But here we go with this video, though. It's gonna wrap everything up and make it make sense.
Strength is not born. It will never emerge from ease. It rises from fire. stands for the unbreakable. And if you want to ascend, you must stop asking for fairness, because
Let me run that back for a second. And that right there is really powerful because if you can't stand for yourself, you can't stand for nothing else or nobody else. So in solitude, you learn what you want to stand for, what you really believe in, who you really are, and what you really want to embark on in life. What type of legacy you want to leave behind, the way you present yourself. All these things start to come to play. You start to question, what am I doing? What am I standing for? Am I just following the crowd? Is this who I want to be? Is this what I want to represent? These questions come to mind. So in solitude, you find these answers. You also find out how to stand up for yourself and also how to be yourself. That's the importance. The number one key. So that was a lot to take in, a whole lot actually. Um, what makes sense, you know, and that's how you simply and easily cut off the distractions. People want to engage in some stuff that don't make sense to me. I'm not involved, you know. Carry on with the nonsense. If it's something that makes sense to me, I want to be involved. I want to multiply that. You know, let's double up, triple up. And that's basically how I look at life, how I engage with life, with people, period. Like you say, the world will try to bring you to chaos, will try to make you weak, will try to distract you. And sometimes it's on a constant basis all throughout the day. So it's just about winning the battles for the day, you know, cutting out the nonsense and adding to what builds and multiplies your character, your values, your morals, who you are, who you desire to be. Don't engage in the bullshit, you know. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. Don't carry on. Now that's deep. It's really deep. That's the type of recognition that a lot of people can't live without. You know what he just said, what he just shared, what just happened over the weekend. Rampage Jackson's son. You know, everybody's finding themselves in the wrong things, the wrong places, the wrong people, trying to prove that they have value, trying to prove that they are somebody. In the midst of doing so, they end up taking away a future for themselves. These people that are seeking validation, you know, applause from their friends, families, their followers, social media, chasing anything for a viral moment, getting themselves in trouble, all these things. Then you look like, was it really worth it, you know, for the temporary pleasures, the temporary rewards? It's not how you leave a legacy. It's not how you want to be left behind, you know, these silly viral moments. That's what some people be known for. Get out here, get too wrapped up in what seems valuable, you know. What's valuable is your soul, your energy, how you guard it, and instruct it to be the best that it can be, that it can represent you in the right way, not to be caught up in the world, following the crowd, making viral moments for the wrong reason, and your legacy become you're a clown, you're a fool, you're somebody who taken away from the community, somebody who's hurting, harming others, you know, scheming, scamming. When I play a lot of videos, the rewards that come with that, the stuff that come with those mindsets, those self gratification moments, a lot of things. And I'm gonna share a prime example right after this. Legacy. Let's talk about this. It's what you do with your time that adds up to your legacy. I've been telling you guys I nurture a lot of things and it takes time. You want your situations to grow. I just showed you guys a little earlier today. I'm pretty sure some people didn't get to see. I don't think a lot of people did get to see, but I'm about to show you right now what I got growing, what I had been working on. Hold on. All right. And how I don't like to brag or boast, but I see growth in what I'm doing, what I've been doing. Hold on real quick. Uh, um, all right. So what I gotta do is I gotta go to damn, they ain't gonna do it. Anyway, I was trying to show y'all my little garden. I just did a video. It's on private right now, so I have to do some editing or whatnot. Let me see if I can real quick. While I do that and do this, I'm gonna go ahead back and play. These my videos, by the way. I'm gonna let this finish playing real quick while we look up this. All right, I'm about to get ready to show it in a bit. That's why this loaded. Mhm. And this is why it's important. Sometimes you just got to stand alone until people understand you or you find your crowd. But nevertheless, to conform to people because you standing alone, that's where the solitude comes to play, where you don't mind having to stand alone. Knowing what you're standing for is more than trading your values to stand alone. I mean, to stand with people that don't understand you, that don't align with your values, that won't help you grow. And it's a lonely journey sometimes, but nevertheless, it's endurable. And I encourage you all to start your journey. The marathon continues. You won't stand alone forever. Now, walking a day by day. This is what this video is about, and also the benefits of doing so. Uh, Speaks for itself. I mean, I tell you all day, every day, but just takes a little bit of time out of each day, and this is what happened. So this been months at a time. I mean, it started off with like uh, five, but it ain't over till it's over. We'll see what lasts when it's all done. So yeah, that's just that. Pruning. That's what that's called. Giving a little air to breathe, giving a little room to do what it's supposed to do. That's some white truffle, by the way. I had five different ones. I got fucking this motherfucker full on. See, been doing this for 3 years now. Yeah, that's what this is. Full of these. Do this every year until I die. But it's about aligning yourself. This situation came to me. Um, just being true to who you are and what your desires are, chasing those to become your reality, experiences, frustration, how you deal with those things. Yo, what up, bro? Shit, I'm free if you want to link later on today. We chop it up or another time. We can chat for a bit. But yeah, one day I was late for work, frustrated, had a bad day, but that moment didn't define or dictate the whole day. But nevertheless, it almost stopped me from an opportunity. Nevertheless, so and it's about emotional intelligence too, because you having a bad day don't mean everybody has to have a bad day with you. So this guy, he was like, I really didn't want to be bothered, and he had on some. He looked like an Amish man. He looked Amish, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of got to understand. Oh yeah, well we chop it up later on today. Let's do that. Have a little conversation. A little later on today in a few hours. Yeah. So dude walk up to me, the Amish man. He wasn't even Amish. He just looked like they just came from church or something. But they looked Amish. It was him and his son. And he like, what did he say? He asked me something, and from what he looked like, I didn't want to be bothered because I'm like, oh, he finna ask me about some church shit. I don't care about that type of shit. If I want to go to church or I want to, you know what I'm saying? I know how to look up some information. I want to join you guys' cult. I'm cool. He give me his card. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then it clicked in my mind, like, well, he ain't say nothing about church. Because I wasn't trying to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm having a bad day. I'm going to be bothered. Get the fuck on. Plus, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I was a little patient. And I was like, let me change my mood. This is a moment for me to switch it up. And he was like, said what he said, give me the card. And I'm like, oh shit, he ain't say nothing about church. So then that's when I was aware of the moment. I was in the moment. I'm like, let me embark on this opportunity. And from there, shit, see what I just showed you. Been learning a lot. giving a lot of information. It's been a equally yoked relationship. So it's just like, God leads you on your path, especially from having a bad day and then getting what I just showed y'all. Like I got some of that for free. And I'm like, damn, this day just turned around. Full 180. Probably think about 360. That means coming back to the same situation now. 180 is a turnaround. 360 is back where you started. So yeah, you want to do a full turnaround. I didn't want to come back to that same state of mind. I turned it around, moving in a different direction. And then ever since I've been learning a lot, skills that used throughout a lifetime. It's valuable tools. Just like with the mindset, these are tools to use. You use them when you want to or you don't. They're available to those who are conscious to know. So that's why I do this. Just equip you with different tools to use. However you use them, if or if not, is up to you. Your discretion. But you see what come from it. Like, it's not no overnight type shit. Everything I do ain't no overnight type shit. Ain't no microwave type of situation. If you don't really have the patience to allow your shit to nurture and grow, it's not for you. And the reason why I take my time doing it is because it's repetition overall. But not only that, it's about allowing my creation to be its creation, not forcing it to be anything else, especially something that's living like this. I can manipulate it like they do with our genes. You can manipulate any living organism, clones. I'm not here to teach you guys about science, modern day technology, but you can look on the internet and see all type of. You can see what's going on, right? It's a living creation, energy into it, it's nurturing. But yeah, I ain't gonna get into that too much because that's a separate thing that I do on my free time. It's a money making activity, if you know what I mean. But I don't do it like that. There's a part of my life that I put behind me. Part of my life that I had to learn the hard way. That was like nobody gonna save you, like they said, and it's an ugly place to be. It's scary at times. It's very irritating. It's a reality at times that you might not ever be able to come back, see your loved one. You might make a decision you regret to, really hurt somebody, and it's very much present each moment, each day. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of humility, a lot of endurance, and it's all because of our actions. Put ourselves in these positions to experience these realities, and that's not something I encourage because it's not something that I like to endure myself. It wasn't something that I wish on anybody, but that's what you get from that. That's what comes with it. You hear it all the time, but it's just a warning call. I'd rather you not experience what I've experienced or what other people have experienced from what comes with these certain situations. What I like to tell you is what come with this. Be prepared for these experiences because this is what come with this shit. Take heed to my warnings or not, but just telling you what come with the shit. Cause and effects. But yeah, you can. I do this for my peace of mind. I like to blow for time to time, so that's what that's about. It ain't nothing about anything else. Just for clarity. And these just for each year I could have a situation. So around this year, it's about having vision, like I kept saying. This so I could save a little money around this time, give it to my son, transition, stop spending money on it, and save up a little bit. Is a way to save in the future because I know around the end year, got the holidays, different little shit going on. Got anniversary coming up, then my birthday, different shit that I care about. So for that reason, I'm not going to be spending money on this. So that's what that whole project is about, if it makes sense. And like I said, I started out with 5 because I don't want to overwhelm myself with so much. Plus, this is my 3rd year doing this, and I know for a fact from my 2nd year experience that the way that I do it 2 ways. But one of the ways I do it, I'm totally reliant on nature. And if nature is, you know, too much to handle, certain things may not live throughout the season. And unfortunately, some of my shit died out due to nature and due to my own actions. But it's not done until it's done. So I have 2 more situations still alive. Hopefully they'll make it until the end. It's not over until it's over. And that's the thing about it. You started, you wanted to finish. The marathon continues. I have to continue to nurture, continue to protect it from the winds, protect it from this artificial ass sun that'll burn it up, and all this shit that's going on. It's just about being aware and spending a little bit of time a day nurturing my creations, not altering it, not doing anything but allowing it to be, and giving it a little protection for the ones that live and for those that's digital as far as my art. And before I even publish and post it, I make sure that I nurture it the right way. Spend a little time putting titles, descriptions, edits, whatever the fuck, before I present this creation to you. And you can dilute it however you want to, add to it or take away, whatever. But once it's done, it's done, it's gone. Those are creations that I don't really have to nurture. I don't have to continuously nurture. I just, nurture it until it's published and posted and it's out there. It's done. It's good. But these other things, they take a little time, just like me as well. We need our daily provisions. You need your water, your nurturement, nourishment, nurturement. That ain't even a word. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes I be thinking about other words. It's kind of hard when you learn in different languages. Your mind is always thinking about what it could relate to, like Naraka. I'll be thinking about that, wanting to say orange. That's orange juice. Hugo Naraka. That's orange juice in Spanish. But like, certain things would be like, it just be crazy. Like I'm trying to say nourishment, but I'm thinking about a Spanish word. And that's what that is. But anyway, this can be a situation if you put the time and effort into it, and consistency is basically what it's all about. You may have some hiccups along the way. You may have a project that just don't last. And that's fine. It's totally fine. But nevertheless, you have the experiences, you have the point of view. I mean, not the point of view, but the perspective on what's to come with certain shit. So when you embark on that project, you could be mentally prepared. That way you won't be so discouraged to give up when things don't go as planned or as you perceive them to go, desire them to go. I started out with 5. Of course, I wanted to see 5, but as it's going along, things are happening beyond my control and some with my control. But it is what it is, right? I'm grateful for what I do have still and what I still have to take care of. So that's what I'm doing, and learning from my mistakes. 2 of them died because I didn't take the time to do what it was supposed to do as far as the transplant. So, and that's important, even like with somebody's heart, right? If you get a new lung, a new kidney, you gotta set the situation up before you even attempt to switch it over. And that's what really happened. It was it wasn't ready to be birthed and ready to continue living in a new environment that I put it in, and it died. It was holding on as long as it could, and it just couldn't do it. That's that. And then also along the way, I didn't nurture it. I missed like 2 days maybe, and those 2 days was enough to wrap it up. I woke up sad as hell, like damn, what the fuck? Thinking one of the animals did something, but it was my neglect. So I'm like, fuck it, Joe. I'm just gonna have to do better. And there was a little bit of awareness, like, yo, you got some shit to take care of. Go take care of this shit. Because if not, this is the consequence. I'm like, man, here go my other shit too. Like, I've been fuck around, go live every day of the year this year, which is crazy, because this is what I'm doing it for. I'm making these little. Make watch my videos too. Go check my shit out. Not crazy. Not crazy. So that pissed me off. Damn, I just fucked. Damn. Yeah, get up with me though, Brody. Let's wrap it up in a bit. Let's set up the situation. I'm gonna email you and yeah, we could link. Peace and blessings though. Happy Tuesday. Feliz Martis.